Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want us to appreciate one fact. Consumption subsidies breed corruption. Subsidizing production breeds efficiency and catalyzes economic development in any economy. Energy self-sufficiency, energy security is one goal Nigeria must pursue with utmost vigor. I've always insisted that we must explore every energy source available to us to enable us achieve energy self-sufficiency. I've always advocated that if China, as massively industrialized as China is, produce and consume 47 billion tons of coal annually, firing 40% of the industrial complex, nothing stops Nigeria, especially the sub-sovereign states that have huge coal deposits. It's estimated that Nigeria has proven coal reserve of 639 million tons and probable reserve of 2.575 billion tons. We are talking about over $308 billion worth of energy sources lying fallow in Nigerian soils. And our coal is actually low sulfur surface coal that is better than even the coal produced in South Africa and every other part of the world. We should explore coal. We need coal to do coal tars. We need coal for our cement clinkers. We need coal for different and diverse, for any power generation and other things that we will require it to help us industrialize. On the issue of the crude oil and the refined petroleum product, I have made suggestions. Yes, we talk about removal of petroleum subsidy. There's a very unique missions, diaspora, community, private, public partnership arrangement that we can adopt to ensure that we subsidize production and ensure stable petroleum prices, energy prices in Nigeria that will make us a productive nation without destroying our economy. Nigeria has crude oil reserve of 37.5 billion barrels. Nigeria can actually increase our reserve to about 40 billion barrels with more investment in exploration. Nigeria at one time in our history, as at October 2010, go and check the records at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Throughout October 2010, Nigeria produced domestically 2.88 million barrels of crude per day, and we exported 2.43 million barrels a day. The madness of crude oil being stolen like sweets and inefficiency started under Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, and that madness had not subsided. For 24 years, we've not been able to repair 3 refineries that we have built in a space of about 15, 20 years by Tafawa Balewa, 1965, and the military regime. And we see this because it is caused because of the inefficiency and corruption at NNPC. We suggested ways we can circumvent this. Nigeria, those oil wells that we are giving us 2.8 million barrels are still there. All we need to do is to bring in new investments to re-enter those wells and to drill new wells. And these things we can do by first of all streamlining our regulation and carrying out massive institutional reform that will make our oil and gas sector to be efficiently run like it's done in Saudi Arabia and Brazil. Petrobras is a typical example of how the NNPC should run if we actually want to make progress. Brazil crude oil reserve, a third of Nigeria, 15 billion barrels. Petrobras was founded in 1970, long after the Nigerian Oil Corporation was established. It later metamorphosed into NNPC in 1977. Today, Petrobras is $174 billion sized. Last year, they did $121 billion revenue. NNPC just barely managed to scruff out 17 billion. Last year, Petrobras did profit of $36.7 billion. 2003, NNPC reported profit of $2 billion. And if you look at that profit, most of them are actually dividend declared by the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas. Profit attributable to the activities of the NNPC. So what do? We can actually carry out a massive institutional reform. First of all, we need to diversify federal government's shareholding in NNPC. Divest 70%. Very, very imperative and urgently needed. 30% to core investors, 3 core investors, 10%. The remaining 40% to be sold to Nigerians, both in diaspora and in Nigeria, who will subscribe. Most of every one of us will subscribe. and then it will be listed, and then do IPO of $20 billion. The new NNPC will be listed on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange, even New York also dual listing. It will begin to run transparently like the Petrobras, unlike the Nigeria liquefied natural gas. If we decide today that we want to raise $20 billion annually for massive exploration, to bring in more rigs, to explore oil and gas, more frontiers, I tell you, Nigerians and diaspora can subscribe to whatever bond that we float to do this. We don't need IOCs or the foreign investors to do it. Foreign direct diaspora investments and local investments can do it if we put in place the right structure. And then how do we refine products here to ensure that we have massive products at a very good conducive pricing? I've suggested the same way we have Nigerian bulk electricity trading company, the same way we tried as much as possible to reform the power sector that is not working. We can apply the same thing. Currently, we have 3 refineries. Kaduna is practically dead. I will advise that we will scrap Kaduna and use it for storage. Then let us work with Warri, that is 125,000 barrels a day. Port Harcourt at 210,000 barrels a day. Put the 2 of them in one bucket. That's about, currently, between 2 of them, we have about 335,000 barrels a day. Value it in that bucket. Get NNPC to sell down 80% of those refineries to deep-pocketed, technically savvy private sector investors under a special arrangement. The 445,000 barrels that are meant for the local existing refinery will be handed over to them, or we can even hand over the marginal fuels to them. Get enough marginal fuel from where those crews are coming, or allocate new marginal fuels under this special arrangement. Under this special arrangement, the new investors will be clearly stated. The output that will be coming out of that refinery will be for local consumption, and therefore is going to be cost plus a margin of 30%. Of course, the new investors will be allowed to collocate new refinery of about 160,000 barrels a day to bring the total output to about 495,000 barrels a day. 495,000 barrels of crude oil refined in Nigeria will give us enough PMS, enough gas oil, enough aviation fuel, enough DPK, and other byproducts to satisfy local demand and local consumption. Let me tell you what will happen with this special arrangement. When we do this, basically to produce crude oil in Nigeria, the cost is between $21 to $31. Of course, it's high because of insecurity, inefficiencies, and corruption and regulatory bottlenecks, which we are going to strengthen out through further amendment of the PIA. Under this new arrangement, the host communities will also be involved. They will have a share in the new outfit in such a way that all our oil and gas assets, communities that help to protect it, will receive incentives, and those that default will also be penalized. Of course, when the communities are involved under a special oil and gas rangers arrangement that protects all our oil and gas assets, we won't have this issue of our crude oil being stored. Of course, we also have to meter all our flow stations in such a way that every drop of crude oil that leaves Nigeria will know what the amount, the volume, and the time it is leaving. All this kind of shenanigans we are doing can actually be mitigated. So under this special arrangement, cost plus margin of 30%. Cost of production. Of course, the new refinery that will be collocated, 100,000 barrels. Under normal circumstances, it will cost between $6 to $8 billion to do. But because there are existing facilities in Port Harcourt and Warri with all the other architecture in place, so it can actually cost us less than $4 billion to set up because there are already existing facilities to support the new refineries. Under this special arrangement, cost of production, let us even use the upper margin, $3.31. Cost of refining a barrel of crude oil, amortized over time, is about $10. That gives us $41. 30% margin gives us about $13. If you add it up, we're talking about $53, $54. Cost of production plus 30% margin. Cost of production plus 30% margin will give us 30 plus 10, which is 41, plus 30% margin, which is about $53. Even if you use exchange rate of 1,500 naira to $1 to compute it, you will discover that the cost of production plus margin to the refiners under this arrangement will be about 506 naira per liter. All the derivatives, gas oil, PMS, DPK, aviation fuel, everything. That is that cost. Now, let us even add, because those who do storage, the depot owners, the fleet will also add their margin, including trucking. Let us even add Bobo here. Let us even put 24%. So we will discover that under this special arrangement, we will sell the white petroleum products of every of the varieties, even the derivatives, the naphtha, the asphalt, at a cost of between 600 650 naira per liter, irrespective of what happened in the international market. Even if crude oil goes to $140 per barrel, it will not affect us because it's a special arrangement to enable us to have energy self-sufficiency and domestic energy security. And under this special arrangement, to make sure that these products are not kited and taken out of Nigeria, we will form what we call the Nigeria Petroleum Bulk Distribution Company. Just like we have an embed electricity. Who are the members? IPMAN, DAPMAN, MOMAN, MBA, SERAP, and all the other self-regulatory agencies. They will form part of the board so that these products are not diverted outside of Nigeria. This arrangement where people will take products here and move it to Nigeria Republic with IPMAN and other members. We will know how much we consume. We will know how much that is gotten. We will, each of them will help to track the movement of the product. Under this special arrangement, Nigeria will have domestic energy self-sufficiency, very competitive, cheap energy pricing that will enable us to support productivity. Because after all, we use most of these energy byproducts, petroleum byproducts, for a lot of things that we manufacture here in Nigeria. Let us think about this. Any serious government, any honest government will heed to this wise counsel. We are not the only oil producing country. After all, our OPEC quota is about 1.78 million barrels a day. 1.78 million barrels a day. We've done 2.8 million barrels a day. We can actually do 3 million barrels a day. Fulfill our OPEC quota for to enable us to generate dollar as working capital and still have enough production, enough crude oil to supply to Dangote 650,000 barrels a day, to supply to the new private public partnership owned refineries 495,000 barrels plus other modular refineries that will come up. Nigeria can actually take over the whole of the West African, Southern African market. We will create massive job. We will make this country a transshipment hub in such a way that we can actually make up to $25 billion from the blue economy, just like Singapore is doing. What is the big deal about this? Sometimes when we say this, these things are so simple. What that will is the political will. And something our politicians must realize, that no president lasts more than 8 years. Obasanjo was there for 8 years. He came and left. Yar'Adua came. Good man. Death did not allow him to do 8 years. Jonathan came. He left. Buhari came after destroying Nigeria for 8 years. Buhari had gone. He's gone. He's no longer president. So Tinubu should create a legacy for himself. He should set up a special team to help him midwife this. If this is the only thing he achieves as the president of Nigeria, he will be forever remembered in the annals of Nigeria, history of Nigeria, as one person who did the right thing. Removal of subsidy is not the problem. Margin of the foreign exchange market is not the problem. The problem is the political will to execute the institutional reforms, to restructure the industry in such a way that will become more efficient than Petrobras, more efficient than Aramco. NNPC can become $200 billion size in the next 5 years if we do this. NNPC can get more than $150 billion revenue if we do this. We will create massive job. There are other spin-off businesses in that sector. May God help us and give us the strength, the wisdom to do the right thing. We'll keep on saying the truth. God bear us witness. We want the best for this country, and we must succeed as a people called of God, put in this paradise. In Jesus' name, amen.